Hello, and welcome to Abby Tyler's Healthy Living. My name is Abby Tyler. I'm your host, a family nurse practitioner, a health and wellness blogger, and a community volunteer. In here, we discuss evidence based health information regarding mind, body, and soul with a holistic emphasis. Thanks for joining me on this journey of health and wellness. Please enjoy the show. Hello, 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 ATHLers. Welcome to our Tuesday show. My name is Abby. I'm your Healthy Living NP. Welcome. Please invite others. Please invite others. And just give me a few minutes here, a couple of seconds actually, and I'll be right with you guys. Want to make sure everybody gets to see this show. Alrighty. And please don't forget to share, share, share. Like my other news always says, share, don't be selfish, share. Alrighty. So let's get to that and one second. Alrighty. Okay. All right. I'll finish sharing later. Okay. So let me just get into here. Okay. How are you guys doing? Hope all is well. If you're watching me, welcome to all of you who are watching me from Abby Tyler's Healthy Living the group, the page Focus on Liberia, and also YouTube. As you can see, today's topic it says seasonal blues. Alrighty. So let's get into that. I talked about seasonal. We were talking about seasonal blues, when you feeling people get kind of feeling kind of down during winter months. I also talked about the summer months. Like I said, I learned about people having blues, depression also during the summer months. But I also, most of the time we talk about, seasonal blues and all is usually during the winter months and all. So for those of you who live in this part of the country where we have to turn the clock backwards at least 1 hour, and I know other parts of the country they don't, and this may not go to our Liberian audience that much because you don't change and stuff it, and the weather doesn't change so drastically like it does over here. But we who are from transplanted from other countries and all for it's like tropical, like me, I've been in this country forever and but I still have a tropical DNA. And when the weather gets this time of the year, that's when I start feeling a little down, and I do a lot of colors, and even if I have to have fake flowers, I do that. But anyways, so please invite others. And also, like I said, I'm trying to raise money for this forum so I can put more money back into the software that I use. But if you cannot and donate, you can send me stars and all that too. Please at least just share it so other people can see it. Okay. So as always, my disclaimer: I am a provider, but I'm not your provider. So please do not make any changes to your regimen without checking with your own provider. So let's get right into it. So what exactly is seasonal effect? It's a seasonal blues. Like, during this time of the year, some people get like down and all, but when it gets to the point where it's like really start affecting your life, where you're not moving around, you're not doing the things that you need to do, hanging out with your families and things like you like doing over a period of time, over a 2 weeks period of time, and you see yourself getting worse, or is your family member, and please make sure you talk to your doctor. Okay. So we're going to start getting into it. We'll talk about a definition. We'll talk about symptoms, risk factors in treatments, and also how to cope with it. Alrighty, so let me get back here and get my banners ready. Okay, so seasonal blues. So I said seasonal blues, or we go to like a seasonal depression or seasonal affective disorder. Okay, so seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression that is recurrent and seasonally dependent. So meaning, people already have depression, like you have regular depression, or not regular depression, but depression all through where you take medications for. That's different. This kind of winter blues or seasonal blues is what happens like when the weather turns this way, and then when it becomes springtime and all that, you become a little better, you're happier, you're doing things, you go back to your regular way of doing things. That's when it's like, okay, so then that this is the time of the year you get that. So it's not like chronic depression. Okay. So it's referred to as a major depressive disorder, seasonal pattern. And I'm not going to get too into this, like, psychological parts and all. I'm a primary provider, so I'm going to get into the parts that we handle. But usually during this time, if it gets really bad, especially when it gets to the point where you start thinking of bad thoughts, then we send you over to go see the psychiatrist or the psychologist. Alrighty. So people who have seasonal affective disorder, or like again, like I said, if before you get to that point where it's really depressing, already experience depressive symptoms that typically worsens in the fall and winter months as the days get shorter and the nights get longer. Because especially for me, when I worked as a nurse, I worked 7 a to 7 p. So during this time of the year, you wake up in the morning. I used to wake up like 5:30 in the morning, and to get to work at 7 o'clock, it was dark. When you were coming home, it was dark. So it was like literally you getting up and usually operating in darkness. And the days that I used to be off, it was like you vampire. You're so not used to like the bright lights shining in your face because you spend most of your time inside. So that can be a little depressing too, because you're like, oh my God, what kind of life is this? I'm going outside when it's dark. I'm coming back inside when it's dark. Alrighty. So again, like cyclical, like I said, over a period of time, like every year when you notice that that's what happens around that time of the year, that's when you need to be, you say, okay, maybe there's something is going on with me. I need to talk to my doctor about this. Alrighty. So all right. So, I mean, again, like I said, it's normal to have the blues and all, but when it gets to the point where it starts going on for over a couple of weeks and it's affecting you, then you need to talk to your doctor about it. Okay. So let's talk about some of the symptoms. Alrighty, don't forget, share. Alrighty. So, okay. So, loss of interest in previous activities or hobbies again. And also goes back to the point where, like I talked about, whether you're an introvert, extrovert, or ambivert. Okay, ambivert, the ones that in between, like to go out, but sometimes they don't like to go out. Extroverts like to always be out hanging out with people. They get all the power from other people, that the power or the enjoyment from being around other people. And introverts just prefer to just kind of, and if I don't have to be there, I don't want to be there. Okay. So me, I'm an ambivert. So by this time of the year, if I don't have to be at any kind of function, I won't be there. So then I turn to like a complete introvert too. Okay. Social withdrawal, like I said, you stay away from places that you don't want to be. Irritability, you get a little upset very easily. You feeling sadness for no reason because it's like there's no sunshine, and rainy days and Mondays, and you think of all those songs that talk about the weather being like really dreary. Anxiety too, you feel a little anxious because sometimes like anxiety and depression kind of goes together, because you're like, oh, is there something's going on and you don't feel yourself. Okay. Lack of concentration, again, also because like sunshine, you're sitting there, you're sad, you can't concentrate on one thing here and there. And make sure they're in fatigue. But if it gets to the point, one of the main things I want to talk about too, low energy, because I mean, half of the time you don't want to be moving around anyways. Overeating, because you do a lot of comfort eating. The weather's warm, the weather's cold, you want to come home, especially when you're sitting there cooking your big bowl of fufu and rice and all, and be comfortable, or big mashed potatoes and other things that other people eat, because you're feeling good and you start gaining weight because at that time you're hibernating, and it's like the winter months, you want to stay home, you want to relax yourself, you want to eat some comfort foods, and because you're eating a lot, you're getting a lot of weight. And that's why people say, when it's like you want to get your summer bodies around like springtime, because that's because you did everything in the wintertime in the colder months. Alrighty. You're craving carbohydrates again, because like I said, it's very heavy food. It makes you feel comfortable. It makes you feel like, soft. It's like your mom's arms around you, making you feel comfortable, over time. So you want to do that. And a lot of sleeping. You do a lot more sleeping than you're supposed to. So that can also affect things. So but when it gets to the point where you start feeling like you want to hurt yourself, and any kind of thoughts of suicide, or again, that's when you're moving from just the winter blues, like I'm not feeling like it, like I don't feel like hanging out with people and all that, and you get into the point where you start feeling thoughts of suicide, then of course you want to call 988, of course, suicidal or homicidal ideations. Call 988. That's the number for a suicide hotline. Speak to your doctor about it. If you're not thinking of killing yourself, but you're feeling really, really, really down, you want to also have this conversation with your doctor. If you have a counselor in your school, you talk to your parents so somebody can talk, break it up again. Okay, it's not something that you should be keeping to yourself, because your body, your hormones and everything, the body, everything is going. It's like out of whack right now because your body's not responding to this change in weather. And especially for those who, like you said, if you already have issues with depression and all, and depression with depression and anxiety, that can exacerbate all of that too. That makes it worse because you're already dealing with the regular depression, and then you're dealing with like the seasonal part of it too. Okay, so how do we go do the diagnosis there? So if you think you may have the disorder, again, like I said, the winter blues, or just feeling down to the point where it's like, okay, I need to talk to my doctor because there's something going on. I need to get this fixed because I can spend, especially if you live on this part of the country that I live in the northeastern corridor of the United States, and those are people who are like in the Minnesota and North Dakota. I don't get how you guys can live in Minnesota. It's so cold in North Dakota and all. I can't. It's like Pennsylvania is like cold enough for me. So my luck, I want to probably go to Liberia during the winter time and then come back when it's like, so that's my goal. So if you want to, if you're having problems with it and you need, or family members having problems, you to get checked, you want to go get, talk to your doctor about it. So it's like it's got to be like, again, like I said, seasonal pattern, and we're going to ask you some questions about that. So in order for you to be diagnosed with having this issue and all, and I know we come from a culture where nobody wants to talk about being depressed, and depression is something this, and it's such a taboo, and any kind of mental health illness is like mental illness, and it's like such a taboo. It's a regular part of living. Okay, if your knees hurting, you're gonna go get your knees checked. If you're feeling down and you're not moving around and you feel a little depressed or feel a little anxious and not yourself, you need to go get a check. It's not put that all aside, put your society factors aside and go and get checked. Again, like I always stress when I talk about anything that has to do with mental health. Okay. So in order for you to be diagnosed and all that, so some of the questions. So these symptoms, your doctor's going to ask you these questions, and they'll give you the questionnaire to fill up at the same time. So it has to be present majority of the day for at least 2 continuous weeks. Okay, because if you just say I'm having a problem this morning, no. Okay, it has to be at least 2 weeks. So they're going to be asking you when it starts. Okay, I remember I told you guys about when you go to your doctors and all, the way that we ask questions, that's the way it's going to go on. All right. So they're going to be asking you, are you for the past 2 weeks? Okay. Most of the day for the past 2 weeks, have you been very depressed? Have you been losing interest in, mostly losing pleasure in interest or pleasure in most of your activities? And have you noticed any significant weight gain, appetite changes, sometimes also weight loss too, or appetite changes where you don't feel like eating at all right? Any kind of sleep disturbances, because when you're depressed or you're anxious, you don't want to sleep. You're worrying about everything, alrighty? Failure, fatigue, or low energy. Fatigue is like when you're very tired. Have you noticed that? Sense of worthlessness. Okay, all of that kind of sound almost like talking about your regular depression and all, but like again, like I said, people get into that. And for the purpose of this conversation, I want you to be able to answer those questions when you go see your doctor so you can get the help that you need. Okay. And sometimes some people have undiagnosed depression too, by the way. So all of this can go into play when you go speak to your doctor. Already impaired concentration. Again, like I said, you can find yourself focusing, you reading one, they tell you to read a chapter or read 2 chapters, and you reading it, but you're not absorbing the information, and you just find yourself going back and forth to something that you didn't have any problem with before. Okay. So and also it's like, okay, you were supposed to go to the store to pick something up. Did you not pick it up? What happened there? So all those questions they're going to be asking you. And again, like I said, especially if you're having any thoughts of suicidal or homicidal ideations, please call 911. 911, 988, whichever one. Okay. So you say, if I can remember the 988, call 911. It would be the same people coming to talk to you anyways. Okay. So if you say all those things, they'd be like, oh, okay, then let's move on to the next step here already. So, and also they'll be asking you again, does this happen during this time of the year, or does you find yourself being more depressed all through the year? So that's, in order for that to qualify as seasonal or affective disorder, they have to tell you again, it has to be cyclical, meaning that it happens certain time of the year and it happens over a period of time. All right. So they're going to ask you a question like, there must be full remission depression. Let me just go in here for a second. You have your, again, like I said, you have to have a majority of the day and also for 2 weeks continuous already. And let me go in here. I'm trying not to get this too technical, so you guys know that. All right. So there's like 2 different types of seasonal affective disorder too already. So, but the milder one is the one where you can sit there and say, okay, yeah, I'm just having the winter blues, and maybe I just need to just do some things to make myself feel better about it. And then there's the one where it's like, you're really depressed and you need to get help. All right. It's not something where you can just talk it out and just say somebody can tell you just snap out of it, just snap out of it. Alrighty. So what are some of the causes and all that too? Again, as I said, I pretty much kind of mentioned that when the sun goes down, for those of you who live in this part of the world too, okay, or other places where it snows and the weather goes back and forth already, because it's like, when especially for me, okay, I'm gonna just use myself for example here. I know very well this time of the year I look forward to like having my birthday, even in last year, starting last year, I've been very intentional about enjoying fall, because once the summer months are out, I'm like, oh, the leaves are gonna they'll get pretty for a while, and then they would just die, and then they just look so depressing. And again, going to work and coming back, and even now, like when I come from work, I leave work at 5 o'clock. Sometimes I stay till 6 or 7, and it's already dark, so I'm coming home in the dark, anyways. Okay, so all of that, talking about that, and again, like I said, if you have high levels for anxiety and depression and all that, can also cause a problem. Alrighty. So to talk about serotonin, like I always talk about your happy hormone when you go exercise and all, your body releases the good hormone and you're there and you're happy about it. But because when the weather gets like this, everything kind of slows down and it's not making you happy. You don't want to go out. So it's like the factors that affect the weather and also the factor that affect your hormones. So when you do get medication, or if you do need medication, it can kind of replace that. Okay. So, but and everything too. If you have vitamin D deficiency, also because you get your natural vitamin D from the sunlight, and when there's not enough sunlight, you're not going out. There's not enough sunlight coming into the window. You're not outside. You're not playing. Even you're not running around like little kids and all that too. Just the sun, the heat, and everything makes you feel better. Like 2 weeks ago, when I did that reel where I was outside, it was like 80 degrees. It felt like heaven. It felt like heaven. Then it went into like 30 degrees. So it was like you're up here, you're happy and all of that, and then so for some people who really go through back and forth with that, that can be very, very depressing too. And especially if you don't have like family members or friends that you can call, and you're not in a group, or some people live like so far away from the family members. Some people are older, their kids are grown. All of that come into play as well too. Alrighty. So then talk about the melatonin changes again, like I said, the sunlight and your body ability to sleep. When you're not sleeping at night, you're not going to deep sleep and getting enough rest and recovery. That can also help that. And again, like I said, the vitamin D. So what are some of the risk factors on here? I don't see any comments yet. So what are some of the risk factors? Of course, female, because we have we go different hormonal changes to anywhere. I was really happy during that time, and then also very sad going through that. And also some family members also died suddenly a couple of years ago in September. So I was kind of associate those events with that too. And people who have lived in warmer weather. Thing, like I said, I've been in America for so long, but my body is still tropical DNA. So and also for like people who are elderly people too, who foreigners, and even if you're not foreigners, you come to America and you're here and you're used to being back home, where this time of the year is dry season back home, and it's like you think of all the happy things that happened during that time, and you're here, you're older, and then you're stuck inside. The kids are busy doing their things. If you live with your children and grandchildren, they're busy doing their thing, going to school, going to work, and you're this elderly person, and you're sitting there and you don't have that much to do because you can't go outside. Back in the day, my grandma used to love going outside in the summertime and making her gardening and sitting outside. Then it became winter and she was just in the house all the time. She didn't like that. Okay. So I know when I get older, that's going to be me too. I'm going to be like, I want to go to Liberia for the winter months and then come back here. And a lot of people doing that too. A lot of elderly people. I have a couple of friends who their family members go back home and they come back. And the older people who are American people over here, they all move down south. They move down to Atlanta or they move to Florida where the weather's nice all year long. I remember a couple of last year when we went to Dominican Republic. I was just sitting there going, I was like, is this weather like this all year? I mean, I felt so envious because I'm like, this is where I want to be. Alrighty. So what are some of the treatments already? So let's go in here. So some of the treatments, okay, it's got light therapy, phototherapy. All right, they talk. You make sure you put the lights on, and what I do this time of the year, I put every light on in the house. It's like every light should be on. You do the red light, different light. They have therapeutic light too, where it's like also it puts out heat, not only just the light, but it puts out heat too. So when that warmth of your body, it kind of mimics the sunshine. So it's important. You can put that on all through the night, all through the day, and they say light boxes. You can put that somewhere and put it on for like 30 minutes, sitting close to it. And I love my heater, especially, and I'm always cold. So with this time of the year, I like to put the heater right next to me too. Alrighty. And you can also, they all want psychotherapy too. You can talk, like I said, you can talk to your doctor and they can send you go see the psychologist where they can do so many different things like counseling and all the different things make you, when you sit there and talk to them and say, what makes you happy during this time of the year? Think about things that make you happy and try to do more. Like I said, for me, I try to be more intentional around this time of the year, enjoy all the pretty little flowers and all, enjoying things that come along. My sister the other day was saying that maybe we can go to the Poconos, and I said, well, I'm not not gonna go skiing because I've never skied before, but I love that. I love the beautiful scenery. I'll be out there. I'll be the one like handing out the hot chocolate, but at least I'll be there with other people, so I won't be there by myself, and I won't feel sad because I'm just sitting in this like cold, cold, cold place. Alrighty. I think that some of the people do the polar bear plunge where they like in a bathing suit. It's like they do that to raise money and then run into the cold water. I would never do that. My friend did that. I'm just like, nope, I'll be out there giving cold water, going hot chocolate and everything. You would never see me doing that. Nope, nope, nope. Everything's not for everybody. Okay. So think about things that used to make you happy or find things that would make you happy. If it means going out to your with your friends for parties, going out, joining different groups, and just in not things where you're not sitting home. And if you're in school, of course, you're busy with school and working a lot, but just find more time to do that. And if you're an ambivert like me, go out to the Thanksgiving party, go out to the Christmas party, go out to this and all that, and just start. And Facebook, librarians and all that do. Facebook keep you like crazy, anyways. All after you get done reading all the different posting and all, especially with this everything that's going on right now. So do things that would make you happy. Find things and find pleasure in other winter and some and fall things too. So don't just say I only do things in summertime because in the summertime we go to all these different cookouts and everything, but then in wintertime we just stay home. All right. So try to find things to do that will make you happy. Now you're not just sitting home and feeling depressed. All right. Again, like I said, if you're suicidal, please make sure you talk, call 911. Please start talking to your doctor when you find yourself getting more depressed already. And also, like I said, you go to your psychologist and the psychiatrist and all that too if they need to put you in a medication. Your primary care doctor can also do that. And for different medication, we can put you on medications that are going to kind of, get you to get your serotonin levels back up. Also, you can do that. And I don't like to mention medications and all that too, but it can give you medications like that, anti-depression medications, your SSRIs, and also talk to your doctor about that because all those medications come with side effects too, but at the same time, you need them. But the way the side effects and also bad. And again, also, like I said, you could have undiagnosed depression, undiagnosed other mental health illness too that you may need to get help for that. Again, it could be episodic where it just happens and then you just need help. And then after a while, you also need behavior therapy too. Okay. So vitamin D. You can also ask your doctor you can do vitamin D. Please, again, like I said, please speak to your doctor before commencing anything, especially if it's something over the counter too. Okay, so you get your vitamin D. And I love walking outside, especially around maybe like 12 o'clock during the day, even though it's cold, but the sun is really high around 12 o'clock. So you can go outside and just get some sunlight. It's gonna be cold. So make sure you keep warm and all. So get some vitamin D and you can take that every day, be outside as well. Alrighty. And I don't see any questions, so we'll just finish up tonight. For those of you who did not vote yet, I think is look at depending on your state and all, please go and vote. Alrighty. Okay, so some of the coping things you can do, natural things you can do. Alrighty. So you can make sure you develop a good sleep schedule because if you're not sleeping enough every day, that can have a problem. Because if you slept today and then you sleep way like to 6 o'clock or 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, for most of the people who go through this too, they tend to stay awake late at night. So make sure you have like get your schedule. I'm going to bed at 8 o'clock every night. Or I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock every night. Meaning I've already taken my bath. I've already do everything I've done I'm supposed to do, and I'm laying in bed and I'm watching something that's relaxing. Don't watch anything that's going to make you all stressed out. Don't put yourself on something and you're thinking of 10,000 things at a time. All right. And get outside every day. Go for exercising every day. Get outside because you have to go to work or go to school and all that. But try to find this time to be outside if it's too cold. Just get yourself a little bit. Go to the gym. I'm just starting the gym again, or go exercise. Go for a walk, like in the park and all that to make sure it's safety first, safety first, safety first. Go outside, and even though it's cold a little bit, but at least you'll be out there and be out there. You can put your music on, making sure you're not covering both your ears so you're able to hear everything that's going on. Safety first again. Exercise regularly. Exercise, what it does is, like again, like I say, increases your serotonin level, your happy hormone. So you're out there, you're exercising, you're feeling good, you're coming home. Even if you exercise in the morning and you in the house and you find yourself getting a little depressed, get up, exercise again, watch TV, dancing, put the music on. What I've been doing now, I've been listening to some music from back in the day, from me. I can't believe, like, music from like 70s, 80s, 90s. It's like back in the day. Where did the time go? Anyways, so go there, go outside, eat a healthy, balanced diet, because again, you might want to eat some comfort foods, but over time it may not be healthy. So it's okay to have comfort food here and there, but watch what you're eating too. Okay. And talk to your doctor, talk to your doctor, talk to your doctor. If it means that they probably need to give you some more supplements, different supplements and all, ask them. There's so many different ways out there. So don't think that, you're the only person going through this. And if I'm saying I'm having some issues, and they're probably going to think I'm depressed, or my doctor may want to put me on something and I don't want to take any medications, and they're going to think I'm crazy. Trust me, nobody's going to think that. Okay. You don't have to be on medication. They can also send you to go see like again, you can see the psychologist. The psychologist is not going to give you the medication, but after they talk to you, they might recommend you going to go talk back to your doctor and say, oh, maybe it will help you. Take a little bit of this for now, still continue with therapy and move on from there. Okay. Again, also you may have some undiagnosed depression, anxiety, other things going on there that during this time they might want to help you, because you may be saying there's something wrong with me. I just need to get this checked, and or maybe this would be an opportune time for you to go and get help. All right. So again, you're not alone. A lot, millions and millions of people go through this. Some people go through it during the springtime and the summertime. And watch and see what makes you depressed around this time of the year. Talk to your doctor about it. But some of the natural things you can do: get some sunlight, get enough sunlight as possible. You can get some light therapy. I put a lot of pretty flowers around in my office. I got all these flowers. I love this time of the year. There has to be fake flowers. I don't care, as long as it's colorful. I love anything that colorful. Even my coworkers say, I notice that you're wearing different kind of clothes, because I don't have to wear scrubs. I can wear it, but now it's like I'm putting different colors into it just to make myself feel better. All right. Because I like colors, and I like to this time of the year, like again, everything just looks really dead. All the trees, everything, the leaves just die. Alrighty, so I like to feel happy. So I like to have my color pictures all over the place and all that. So do everything, do everything. Talk to your partner, if it's your child, if it's your spouse, if it's elderly relative and all. And also Liberian people and people who are foreigners and all that too, who like family member came from somewhere warmer. They might say, I want to go back home if it's safe now. Of course, in their health is not that bad. I want to go back home during this time of the year because it's nice and warm, and I want to be hanging out with people who I know, people who love me, people who are my age group and all. Be understanding of that, because again, your whole life you were living there, and then you came to America, and then it's like, your whole life has to change, and you have to get used to being in this cold that you didn't really get used to. Alrighty, so talk to them, say mom and dad, what's going on, and all that. And if you can afford it, don't feel bad if you can't afford it. So there are a lot of things that you can do yet to help your elderly parents. And I'm not elderly yet, like I said, I would love to, one day be somewhere where it's nice and warm in the wintertime, and then to come back here. I don't like the humidity either, but I like for it to be hot, because I know people be outside and people dancing around and having a good time. So be intentional about making sure you're taking care of yourself, eat healthy, exercise, talk to people if you need help. You know where I'm going. Like I said, if it's been going on for 2 weeks and you feel that way for most of the day for 2 weeks, please, please, please talk to your doctor. Alrighty. So let me just see here. Let me see. My friend Mike Hines says, thanks for the education advice in the platform, Abby. Miss Abby, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mike Hines. Thank you so much for always watching. Thank you for your support. So I don't see any questions here. And I know there's a lot of things going on, and you guys have availed yourself to be on here to listen to me. And I truly appreciate it. Truly appreciate it. November is November. Yeah. November is diabetes month. So I'll be talking about diabetes next week. Alrighty. So again, please don't forget to share. I do read the comments later on after I've done the show and all that too. So if you need to ask me any questions, just leave the comments below and I respond to them. Thank you all. And let me see here. Dennis said, we appreciate. Thank you, boss. So good luck to all of you. And again, don't say this is something where other people suffer from, again, because like we all have the same body and hormones and every different things and all, every different thing. And also, if you're experiencing that, please get help. Please, 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 especially if you feel like you want to hurt yourself or hurt anybody, please get help. That's regardless of whether you're going through this or not. Okay. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. Please share the show. Please, let's continue your conversation in the comment section. And I will see you guys. For those of you who have not liked and followed Abby Tyler's Healthy Living page, I am on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, and I seem to focus on Liberia and to other places too. I share it back and forth already. And thanks to all of you, all the different administrators who have been accepting my shows when I put it on there, that you accepting on your platform. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. You all have a beautiful night. Beautiful night. And please like and follow, like and follow. Please give me a thumbs up. If you like this show, please give me a thumbs up. Don't just watch. Give me a thumbs up, okay? So it looks like, watching and people watching was, interactive. So good night. Take care. Bye-bye.